this conversation is children, because the entire issue of trans identity actually begins as a child. And we know that, of course, the law has a lot of protections for trans children. But when I interact with, activists and practitioners, Bidhan also, we had telephone conversations and with other practitioners as well, uh, that there are recurrent problems of child protection, especially. Uh, there are issues related to adoption. There are issues related to when children need services. The role of Child Welfare Committee, the District Child Protection Office, it becomes critical. However, when you look in the other side, nor are children aware of the child protection system, nor is the child protection system aware of how to work around the protection issues of children with transgender identities. So Lakshmi, you have worked extensively on child protection as UNICEF works globally around child protection issues. Uh, you have seen the child protection system in Assam very closely, engage with it very closely. First of all, I would like to understand, is there any conversation around the protection issues of trans children in the system, not only in Assam, but in the country as well? So my conversation would begin with that. Is there a conversation? And if there is a conversation, what is being done currently? And how does the child protection system uh, want to address these issues of children from communities, and especially from trans communities? Lakshmi.
Thank you, Miguel. Uh, Very important question that you have asked. And before I reflect on this question, let me also take this opportunity to share with you that today also a Human Rights Day, World Human Rights Day. And this year theme is, freedom and justice for all, equality and justice for all. So today, across the globe, when we are celebrating the Human Rights Day, and on the other side here in Guwahati, we are having a conversation around children belongs to transgender community. Now coming back to, if you look at the child protection framework or child protection institution that exist at the district level and the state level, one is that, as a sector, this is emerging, evolving. And within the sector, when I look at the capacity of child protection workforce that are placed, you mentioned few of them, like Child Welfare Committee and Child Care Institution or District Child Protection Unit. This understanding is missing. Let me admit it, upfront. The understanding of vulnerability, the multiple deprivation of people belongs to this particular category is missing. However, the law, if you look at it, particularly the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act, it is very categorically mentioned about children in need of care and protection. So within that broader definition, this particular group fits it into it. However, if you look at the capacity of child protection workforce, this is one area which we have been constantly, engaging with the state-run institution to expand their understanding and include more children, what we call them, the terminology used in the different legal framework. They call it as sometimes vulnerable children, they call it sometimes disadvantaged group of children. All kinds of, terminology used which is not very empowering in nature. Now, in the Assam context, when I look at the infrastructure part of it, in almost all the district we have set up are in place. But when it comes to the planning, when it comes to the execution of policies and program, there I see there is a huge gap. First of all, we do not have that database what you are referring. And I am very much thankful to the organizer for inviting me and making me aware about this particular issue and the section which needs to be placed in the planning phase. So first is absence of comprehensive understanding. Second one is, if you look at the planning process itself, it is missing, the importance of this particular group is missing. And on the other side, when I look at it, when you're talking about rights, rights is for all children, all time, everywhere, in all situations. With that definition and the present international level dialogue which is happening, and India is also a party to it, say for example, leave no one behind, or how to reach the last mile children, this group belongs to particular this category, but it requires constant, a regular, we need to raise our voice in different platform so that we can make some noise and it gets the attraction of policymakers, lawmakers and the judiciary. So let me stop here and then we can further, discuss based on your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Lakshmi. I think it was very interesting that finally, but we know that we need to do much more. We need to start the conversation somewhere. So, Sada, moving to you, because you have worked not only on health, you have worked on health rights of, people in prisons for a long, long time now. Sada, there is the law, there are policies, and all over all the seminars that we have attended, the talk goes on and on. Okay, it's a non-stop talk shop, right? But tell me first, I would like to know if you are to point out, say, 5 very critical things in policy that everyone should know about, which needs immediate redressal and which needs immediate implementation and action on ground. What would those be, Sada, from your own experience on field?
Thank you. Thank you, Mikhail. It was a great opportunity to be here with the lovely audience, as well as the dignitaries, the respected, as well as Mikhail, the lead, who is running the show. Yeah, before going to the real question which Mikhail has asked me, this is the document which the Indian government has put up, the gazetted copy, on December 2019. There are lots and lots about the education, about children's and everything, which are not done, and there is not a SOP happening. So just a paper. You can browse the paper, you can read the paper, but nothing will happen because this is very political. My next word is, who am I? Who are you? You answer yourself, and then you act. Because when you throw a stone inside a pond, and if the stone is so small, the wave won't come up to the end point. If you put up a bigger stone, the wave will come up to the height, and then it will touch all those political things. That is how it happened. I love when my friend Miss Vidan was saying about the transgender quarantine happening in Manipur. That was we who have done it. Because they need to be separated, they need a separate toilet, they need to be treated very well. And even at that point of time, we have a separate quarantine center for the drug users also, where they cannot be mixed with people because they have to be treated. So that is how, and that is not in the paper, not in such papers. Those are the things which, on reality, what is the need and what do we say. Coming back to Mikhail, I will say that we really need to develop some SOP at the curriculum level, at the school curriculum level, where we understand the gender thing. And there are laws here, in 2019 laws here, that in chapter number 2, where it is clearly mentioned that the denial and the termination from the employment and employment or occupation, and also the denial from the education relating to the transgender services will be can be given an FIR, and the school may close down. So what is here? We are not doing anything. If we do many things, things are going to change. People are on their chairs, and people are having their handsome money. Every they are waiting for the last 30 day where their money will come up in their bank account. We need to break their banks. Otherwise, things won't be the same as it is. And I have a lot of gazetted copies with me, different gazetted copies, NDPS Act gazetted copies. Nothing is happening on the ground. People are put as it is in the beginning. We are in a very old age type people. India is such a developing country, but the people is in a very old age. Our mind. People are young with their beautiful dresses, but our mind are very old. Second thing, where Mikhail was saying, yeah, first, if you want to make things, or if you want to change this policy about the education of the children, do not think about changing other people. Try to change yourself first. You change and you be a role model. And then others will follow your role model and things is going to be moved out. Mikhail, I would like to point you out here that the SCRT curriculum, really, we have advocated a lot on HIV. Janavi is here with me. My dear friend Janavi is with me. He's a hard worker. I don't know, field level to political level person. We work very hard, but this curriculum need to be amended now, at this point of time. Or else, there will be a lot of dropouts. There will be a lot of, if they are in the hostel, there will be a lot of SRS issues, sexual reproductive issues. And one very big thing which I said is, I'm taking a lot of time, or I have some 2 minutes time? Yeah. Okay. Then let me tell you, then you have talked about the prison. Let me talk of a little bit about the prison, how these transgenders has been treated. I have very recently come across a transgender from Bangladesh who came to India for her sexual transformation. Illegally, she has came to India without any passport and everything, because transgender doesn't apply passport, because they don't have an Aadhaar card, which really shows that they are a transgender. And unfortunately, because of all those documents, she landed up in the prison for some simple papers. Just not showing that she is coming there. Then, with all of my comprehensive program and everything which I am doing there, I'm taking care for the prison in the Northeast. And right now, under me, 28 prisons are registered under me, where we have our comprehensive package done. And through one of our services, we came to realize that her status was positive. Again, because she has undergone a lot of sexual histories which are very unsafe, just to pass on to India. He was like giving it to everybody, just to make sure that he reached India. So when he reached India, he was positive. Then, what now the Indian government, Janavi and the people say, test and treat. We have to treat it if we found that he is positive. But how can we treat a person without any document? They have rejected it. Then what we did is, we requested the prison department, the IG of the prison, and the IG of the prison wrote a letter to the health department, where the health department again wrote it back to the hospital where the treatment has been initiated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sada. I think everyone's so hungry. I can see a lot of young people just moving out of the auditorium. But nonetheless, we'll keep it short maybe. Now, Deti, next to you, because you work in the labor department, and there are a lot of things that goes into, the identity of a trans person. And one of them is that when you talk about transgender person and the kind of work that they do, it's probably begging and sex work. These are two things that we hear. Of course, nonetheless, now with the law in place, with a lot of policy interventions, like I said again, there's again a lot of policy intervention, a lot of people, a lot of theories, a lot of conversations. But tell me, you have worked with the labor department for so long. Issues, little issues like what I have identified. See, we have this Equal Remuneration Act where that Form D is the issue. Then, of course, do transgender persons get maternity benefits? So these are some of the issues that I identified while engaging with the community or talking to practitioners and activists for the last few years. You have worked with the Labor Department. Policy, we know what it is. But what has been done? Then we also have the SMILE, which is a transgender initiative for livelihood support for people from trans community. Have you seen anything on ground, or what has the Labor Department done to protect the labor rights of trans persons? Is the department aware at all? Has there been conversations around it? And if there have been any action out of those conversations, what have they been? Deti, if you can shed some light on that.
First of all, a very warm good afternoon to all. I am from the Labor Welfare Department. So, the Labor Welfare Department is one of those crucial departments that directly touches the fundamental rights.
One second. অসমীয়াত কৈ দিব নেকি এওঁলোকে শুনাটো মানে অকমান এসেনশিয়াল হৈ যায় বস্তুটো বহুত ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট তেওঁলোকৰ কাৰণে
মই শ্ৰম পৰিদৰ্শক হয় শ্ৰম কল্যাণ বিভাগৰ পৰা আহিছোঁ অসম চৰকাৰ তো আমাৰ যোনটো শ্ৰম কল্যাণ বিভাগ হয় বিশেষকৈ এইটো এনেকুৱা এটা বিভাগ যোনে আপোনাৰ আমাৰ মৌলিক অধিকাৰ ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছৰ লগত খুব অতপ্ৰতভাৱে জড়িত আৰু ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছ মৌলিক অধিকাৰখিনি যিমান এনচিয়ৰ কৰিব বিচাৰে ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টটোৱে তাৰে ভিতৰত এই ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টটো ওৱান অফ দ্য অল্ডেষ্ট ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টটো হয় এইটো আপোনাৰ প্ৰি ইণ্ডিপেণ্ডেঞ্চ পিৰিয়ডৰ ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট এটা হয় য'ত আপুনি বহুতখিনি এক্টছ পাব যেনেকৈ দ্য পে'মেণ্ট অফ ৱেজেছ এক্ট উই অল হেভ ডেফিনেটলি হাৰ্ড এবাউট ইট পে'মেণ্ট অফ ৱেজেছ এক্ট মিনিমাম ৱেজেছ এক্ট ন্যূনতম মজুৰি যোনটো কয় মিনিমাম ৱেজ এটা থাকে এনচিয়ৰ কৰিব লাগে যোনটো পিৰিয়ডিকেলি আপোনাৰ ৰিভাইজ হৈ থাকে তাৰপিছত আপোনাৰ আছে গ্ৰেচুইটি এক্ট পে'মেণ্ট অফ ব'নাছ এক্ট ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰিয়েল ডিছপিউটছ এক্ট চ' মোৰ অৰ লেছ আমাৰ লেবাৰ ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট বা গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ ফালে আমাৰ যোনখিনি আমি এনচিয়ৰ কৰোঁ লেবাৰ লছত এইবোৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আমি সদায় চাম যদি আমি এক্ট এটা খুলি চাওঁ আমি দেখিম তাৰে ছেকশ্যন 2 আৰু ছেকশ্যন 3ত ইউজুৱেলি ডেফিনেশ্যনছবোৰ থাকে সেই এক্টখনৰ এণ্ড ডেট section always defines what a workman is in the labor acts. What a workman is basically defined in most of the labor laws as a workman is a person who has been engaged or maybe he or she may be an apprentice for a few months, for the few initial months. So who is engaged to perform some manual work or some unskilled, skilled, semi-skilled work. So the workman is considered as a person there, yes. But sadly also there are some acts which Miguel have very rightly pointed out, like the Equal Remuneration Act, তাৰপিছত আপোনাৰ যোনটো সমান মজুৰিৰ এটা থাকে ন ইকুৱেল ৰেমুনেশ্যন এক্ট এণ্ড দ্য মেটাৰনিটি বেনিফিট এক্ট এতিয়াও কি হৈছে ইন ইকুৱেল ৰেমুনেশ্যন এক্ট ইন ফৰ্ম ডি উই ষ্টিল হেভ দিছ the categorization or the returns that are to be submitted by an establishment or an employer who is engaging the workers is always like there are till date there is this categories of men and women only sadly and in maternity benefit act also so it is a very deep and very big question till date that whether how a transgender should would be having maternity benefit rights in the future or not. For this regard, there is also a Standing Order Act which mainly cites out the terms and conditions of service in any establishment containing more than 10 workers. So Standing Order Act it is being recently revised. Amend koribole it has already been vetted, and we are waiting for the assent. So what happens is that tate jihetu these are very age old acts, we accept that, we admit that these are very age old acts. So tate in Standing Order Act also now we are involving POSH Act, then this transgender, then also there is issue of when we say providing for washrooms for the workers in Motor Vehicle Workers Act, or there are always, when we usually go for inspections, according to the act, we will look whether tate ami jeta from field, I am speaking for example inspection so we will see whether they are given adequate facilities or not. If there are more than 50 workers, female workers, and whether cash facility is given to them or not for their children, be it Plantation Act or be it Industrial Act. So now we are trying to bring all these concepts in the new provisions in the standing orders, that for provision for washroom, separate washroom for transgenders also. And I must admit, before attending this, I also had my doubts regarding gay, lesbian, transgender, and I still have a little bit, I must admit, little bit doubts about
Confusion over the difference between gender and sexuality.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
that probably
yeah.
we can have a conversation with Han at lunch.
Right.
But I think clearly it is, I know that one thing is that I think there has been scant conversations around transgender issues. So probably this is the beginning where you go back and you engage with the department and have probably organize events anchored at Labor Department so that there can be more outcomes. So this is what we plan to achieve out of this Transclave, is that you go back, you have a conversation with your commissioner, that this is are the important things that we need to do.
Also, if I may add
Yes.
one more point.
Right.
Yes, we have this very crucial and very important act, that is the Assam Building and Other Construction Workers Act 1996, and also the Welfare Chess Act. So one very good development is there. Initially, it is as being a very old act, the registration for a construction worker was manual. So there were prescribed forms. But since the last 3-4 years, it has been become online. And now also there are categories for filling up the form. We have categories of male, female, and others there also. And there is no discrimination while disbursing benefits. The Building and Other Construction Workers Act, it usually ensures certain 15 plus benefits to the construction workers. As we know, construction
Yeah.
is a very risk-prone area. So it provides benefits like medical benefits, to apnar sikitha, jotil rogar sikitha for critical diseases also. Then there are educational assistance for the children of the construction workers also. Since
Buji pale ne?
আপোনালোকৰ
Buji paise ne from the community? Huh?
আমাৰ যোনখিনি আপোনাৰ এনেকুৱা নিৰ্মাণ শ্ৰমৰ লগত জড়িত যিখিনি আমাৰ শ্ৰমিক থাকে, আমি নিৰ্মাণ শ্ৰমিক বুলি কওঁ, যোনে বিশেষকৈ যেনেকৈ আপোনাৰ হ'ব পাৰে কাৰ্পেণ্ট্ৰি, মেছন, তাৰপিছত আপোনাৰ এই ৰাজমিস্ত্ৰী, আমি যে কওঁ মিস্ত্ৰী বুলি কওঁ, তাৰপিছত আপোনাৰ পেইণ্টাৰ হ'ব পাৰে, ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিয়ান, প্লাম্বাৰ, এই এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ যোনবোৰ নিৰ্মাণৰ লগত জড়িত কাম আছে, তাৰ কাৰণে এখন বহুত বিশেষ অসম গৃহ আৰু অন্যান্য নিৰ্মাণ শ্ৰমিক আইন বুলি আইন এখন আছে আপোনাৰ, আছাম BOCW এক্ট বুলি কওঁ আমি, ইন শ্বৰ্ট বিল্ডিং এণ্ড আদাৰ কনষ্ট্ৰাকশ্যন ৱৰ্কাৰ্ছ এক্ট। তাৰ আণ্ডাৰত কি কৰিব লাগে, আপোনালোকে পঞ্জীয়ন কৰিব লাগে। আৰু এতিয়া এইটো প্ৰচেছটো গোটেই অনলাইন হৈছে। এই এক্টখনে, এই আইনখনে আপোনাৰ 15তকৈ ওপৰত আপোনাৰ বেলেগ বেলেগ ধৰণৰ কল্যাণ আপোনাৰ আঁচনি আছে, কল্যাণ আপোনাৰ বেনিফিটছ আছে, যোনবোৰ বেনিফিটছ আপোনালোকৰ ডিছবাৰ্চ কৰে এজন ৰেজিষ্টাৰ্ড মেম্বাৰক। আৰু দিছ I can proudly say this act very openly, it includes all the categories.
Theek hai, thank you so much, Deti. But I hope that there is more taken.
Yes,
There has to be
definitely.
more,
There are a lot,
more
regardless,
outcome,
there are
more
very,
feel. But I'm glad that you
yes,
came here to engage, and we will carry on this conversation with you to your department. Thank you so much. So now we move on to Sunil.
Nothing against
Sunil
profession.
is an
But
advocate,
to
has
set the
worked, is
bar
currently working with
high,
Human Rights Law
then you
Network.
reach carpentry.
Sunil, we have talked extensively on law and
That way.
policies and all of that thing. We understand most of it. Some of which, if we did not understand, we kind of tried to address it through the event, from this morning.
Time to pursue.
As an advocate, Sunil, one of the things that I would like to know is the current problem of violence against trans people from trans communities, and especially the recent news has been there on the front line is violence from police. It's one of the issues that have been talked about. I mean, though I would say imposter, no imposter, male, female, transgender. I think everyone has a right to protection from violence. If anyone from the trans community were to face such violence, what is the legal protection? Again, while talking about legal protection, litigations are long. Litigations are time consuming. And litigations are expensive as well. So are there facilities or if say trans women, if they face police violence, or trans men who what are the legal recourses and protections, easily accessible legal recourses and protections?
Yes, thank you for the question. Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, I'm representing my senior, that is Devasmita Ghosh. She could not come here as she is engaged in another seminar. Anyways, as you have asked about the violence against the transgender, it may be by police or some other person. So, we, the organization, the Human Rights Law Network, we absolutely provide free legal assistance to the trans women or TG community persons. In that case, if they have faced any such violence against them, they may approach us. We will help our best to deal with the matter. Apart from that, there is a constitutional provision which is Article 21, which says that which states that the personal rights and liberty is there. So recently, apart from that, Article 21 also covers the right to food. I would like to highlight one case which we have filed in the Honorable Guwahati High Court. The petitioner is from Nagaon, where we obtained favorable judgment from the court. The Honorable Court directed to provide the ration cards to the TG community. So we have not charged a single fee from that community person. So if anyone is facing harassment, it may be physical assault or maybe sexual assault, they may directly approach us. We will try to help out from our end. Thank you.
Thank you so much.